how did we become, the brand XDizzle, and how did the music journey start? What inspired you, and to actually just start music, and like what keeps you going now as a YouTuber and as a music producer? You wear so many hats, you do so many things. Like, explain to us how you became the XDizzle brand that we all know and love now.
Well, I firstly started off as a rapper because my cousin, Silent, you've met him.
Yes.
He
Very
was
lovely
into
person.
music. Shout out to him. He was into music first before me.
Yes.
Right? Because I was into art, like drawing, sketching, and all that. So that was originally my thing, like back in primary school and early high school. That was my thing. So I used to sketch and all that. That's actually another story of where my name XD came from, because I
Yes.
used to draw a lot of X-Men and stuff like that. So that's where I was at creatively. So I used to enjoy art because, that's all we had. Like, all we had was pencils and pens
Yes.
and books and notebooks and all that. So that's the only tools that I had at that time. So I got into drawing, and I was a fan of comic books, Marvel comic books, DC comic books. No matter, I enjoyed that stuff. So my cousin Silent,
Yes.
he then ended up, like involving me in what he was doing, because we ended up staying together,
Yes.
for a while. So the more we stayed together and all that, I started to enjoy music,
Yeah.
And as I was also coming of age, I started to listen to music. So I started to do, to listen to a lot of rap music and all that. And listening to all this music, I started to actually understand it, and started to take, like, to be interested in it.
Exactly.
And like I went to boarding school, right? To boarding school. So at boarding school, we it was all music back then.
Yeah.
Everyone was listening to
Listen to
music.
music,
We used
yeah.
to like write down lyrics and all that. And it was really cool. We used to do that. Like, people would have like books full of lyrics, and that was really fun. So we would like, recite lyrics and all that. And then, when you're when we go to the parties, all the lyrics, and it was so cool.
It was the
It was
coolest.
like the coolest if you know all the words to the songs. So that in turn, kind of sharpened me to know how to recite lyrics.
Yes.
So then when I would hook up with my cousin, he noticed that I could recite lyrics, and he was like, why don't you write your own lyrics?
Yes.
Because I'm into music and all that. You can also,
Be
drop
part
some
of it,
bars on
yes.
what I have going on.
What was he
And then I
singing
started.
or rapping as well?
He was rapping.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of rapping also at that time. We just got into rap. So, I started writing my own raps with him. And then back at that time, we used to rap on, like, you see, when you listen to like music on like cassettes, on stuff like that, because we
Yes.
didn't have instrumentals, there was no
At that
producers
time,
back then.
yeah.
So we would rap on a part where it's, like the lyrics are quiet, it's just only the beat.
Oh, okay.
So we would know that, okay, this
It's
part is
coming.
gonna be, then we jump in. Excuse me. Then we
okay.
jump in, and then we just dive into that part, and then we just start rapping, and we fill in with our own lyrics
Exactly.
at that point. So that sharpened us, and then we started like doing dubs of cassettes when we had that. I used to get in trouble with my dad for overdubbing.
I can
his
only
cassettes.
imagine you would not mess with your dad's
Yeah.
cassettes. Oh.
I used to get a whooping all the time for overdubbing his cassettes, because we didn't have anywhere else to record ourselves.
Exactly.
And back then we didn't have computers, so all we had was radios that would record. So that's how we started recording ourselves. So then what got me into production was the fact that we couldn't find producers. Producers were very rare, and they they charged a lot of
I
money
can only imagine.
for their beats and for
their
recording.
And the time.
You understand?
Yeah.
So we had to find a way, to make our own beats. So that's what pushed me to the production side, because I was like, if I cannot find anyone that can make beats for me and I cannot afford, let me see if I can do it myself.
Exactly.
Like nowadays, you find a lot of rappers are now producing for themselves, you know,
Yes.
and most of the time that's the reason. It's because they cannot afford studio time, so you know they save up for a mic and a laptop and an audio interface so that they can do things, you know,
Themselves, yeah.
and that makes so much sense. So that's what got me into production.